Okay, well, at this point in time, I'm going to ask the panelists to please come forward, and I'm going to say a few things about Dr. Nicklow before he comes up because he's rather fantastic. If you have not met him, you really need to. He became the president of Florida Institute of Technology on July 1st, 2023. He is the 6th president since the university's founding in 1958. He's a leader with vision, empathy, I can say that, and experience. President Nicklow succeeded quickly in elevating the visibility and impact of Florida Tech, even as his work continues with key university and community stakeholders at the local, state, and national levels. He really is putting Florida Tech on the map and building community partnerships that I've just never seen before. So without further ado, I bring you the panel of Launched on the Space Coast.
All right, thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you to the Palm Bay Chamber for, again, holding this event that seems to grow every year, just a wonderful community event with so many partners. So the title of this panel is Launched on the Space Coast, and I think that seems entirely appropriate given that we don't just launch rockets here, we also launch many enterprising businesses. Large and small, that contribute to our economy and to our community. So we have a wonderful panel here of different businesses that were launched on the Space Coast. So let's start with an introduction. I'm going to start with LaTasha Dandy, General Manager of Space Dominance at L3 Harris. I think we have a video. Next, we have Jay Chandiramani, the founder and CEO of Jaycon Systems.
Jaycon Systems is a product design and manufacturing company. We do onshore and offshore manufacturing. We specialize in circuit boards, plastic injection molding, and product packaging.
When Derek and I started the company in 2011, our goal was to be an all-inclusive manufacturer. We wanted to walk our clients from design to manufacturing to packaging and into our customers' hands.
We got our clients through the entire process of creating the products, from concept of idea to full product design, prototyping, and manufacturing. We work with projects that require CNC, laser cutting, and 3D printing. On the manufacturing side, we work with injection molding and assembly of printed circuit boards. We also offer programming, packaging, and even order fulfillment.
We specialize in Bluetooth, RFID, NFC, motors, and motor controllers, as well as other sensors that track changes in things like weather, light, or motion. We also carry a variety of power supplies to keep your projects operational.
We make a lot of the products we carry, but we don't make all of them. Some of our components, we're just distributors to resell to hobbyists, students, and people working on making their own projects.
We have 15 people that work at Jaycon Systems, and we have industrial engineers, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers. We have people that write firmware, people that will do software, bloggers, photographer. You know, and everyone's skill sets coming together, complement each other, and that's what helps us to basically get all the projects completed on time for customers. We have in-house manufacturing here in the United States. We also offer manufacturing overseas in our office in Shenzhen, China. We offer injection mold tooling and injection mold services in China. Additionally, we have capabilities of assembling circuit boards overseas where our people monitor each project to ensure high quality.
Overall, we did what we set out to do in 2011. Today, we are a turnkey solution for our customers. We're a one-stop shop that transforms a napkin sketch into a feasible product our clients can put in the marketplace.
The team looks forward to what the future holds. New challenges arrive every day, and that gives us the opportunity to enhance our capabilities. We look forward to working with new clients and also the challenges that that brings.
Next, we have Tracy Stroderd joining us, CEO and founder of Everything Brevard.
Why do we love Florida's Space Coast? Nature, family, community, business, education, wellness, events, opportunity. We inspire, we encourage, we uplift, we share your story. We believe in elevating others and celebrating their success through partnerships and collaboration. We envision a healthy community where families and local businesses thrive together in meaningful ways. We are surrounded by natural leaders and skilled relationship builders leading the way with heart. Everything Brevard is inspiration at your fingertips, advocating for all. What's your vision? What's your passion? And what's your story? We invite you to talk with us, follow us, and join the community.
And last, but certainly not least, we have Mark Mikolajczyk, COO of Sidus Space and Craig Technologies. So great, I'm going to start with a few questions, and then we're going to actually take questions from the audience as well. So let's just start here with LaTasha. What's the special element or special sauce, if you will, that your business brings to the Space Coast that makes it unique?
Well, good morning. If I had to talk about our special sauce, you know, we merged L3 Technologies and Harris Corporation about 6 years ago. And we were really trying to find what our identity was going to be with that merger. And what we've discovered is our special sauce is being a trusted disruptor in the space industry. So what does that mean? You have the bigger companies that have been in the space industry a very long time, even aerospace defense. And then you have some of the smaller companies that are new and emerging, coming into the industry. We're somewhere right in the middle. Where we want to be a trusted partner to our customer, but we also want to disrupt how business is formally done from an aerospace and defense perspective. Our CEO, when the new administration took over DOGE form, our CEO was one of the first to the ask of saying, hey, what are things that the industry can do to be more efficient, to be more cost effective? How can we do business differently? And our CEO is one of the first to answer the call on what some initiatives that we would love to see come into place to help us get to speed of need a lot faster. So our special sauce for us, anyway, is being a trusted disruptor in this industry.
I like that. Jay, same question, special sauce.
So good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me here, and I'm honored to be here next to these incredible companies. Thank you so much. As you saw in the video, which is a little bit old, We are about 90 people now, so we're pretty fast growing. And one of our special sauces, I think, is that we have almost every department working together in a room. So electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, software development, manufacturing, the people who actually put the product together, everybody's working together in the same room and collaborating. So if you come to us as a client and you have a product idea, or you're working on a program, or you are developing a product for whatever need, when you come to us, we are already thinking about how we're going to make that product. So we're so far ahead of just designing the product, and so I think that's our special sauce. And a lot of the companies that we have been competing with locally or internationally, they just do one or the other. So you often have to go to a different company to accomplish certain tasks, and that's just not the case with us. We're a one-stop shop.
Very good.
So.
Tracy, special sauce of everything Brevard.
Good morning, and thanks for having me. So our special sauce would have to be the way that we tell the stories that we share within our community. I have been here on the Space Coast for 41 years, raised my family here. I know all the shortcuts, I know the people. When I first got here, Viera was a cow pasture. And so I've made it my business to know people in our community and be a connector for the small businesses. And one of the things with small business owners, not just here on the Space Coast, but in general, when it comes to advertising and marketing, it's really hard for them to toot their own horn, so to speak. So we do that for them. We are truly champions of small business, rooting for them and helping them share their products, their services, their secret sauces. And yeah, we do that with heart.
I love that. Mark, for Sidus Space and Craig Technologies.
Well, many of you know Carol Craig started Craig Technologies a number of years ago, and we had a manufacturing division which was called Craig Technologies Aerospace Solutions. And we've built and developed many space-related components for most of the space programs here on the Space Coast. And you know, what is our special sauce? So we've actually are a satellite and technology manufacturing company, which is different than many folks as well. We have space-based data and AI services, as you saw in our video as well. And we actually have our own product lines. But what makes us unique is, you know, we have all this technology innovation, we're vertically integrated, and we've done everything here on the Space Coast. And, you know, I'm not sure if everybody's aware, but we have launched 3 satellites so far. We call them LizzieSats. We launched them in the course of 1 year. And we are actually designing, we are actually manufacturing, assembling, testing, and launching spacecrafts from here. It's a homegrown company in the Space Coast. And so we're very excited about that, and we'll continue to do that. And we also manage and control our satellites here as well from Merritt Island and our Mission Operations Center.
Very good. I have a couple more questions, but in the meantime, if anybody in the audience does have a question for any of our panelists or all of our panelists, you have cards on your table. Please write them down, and then a volunteer will be around to collect it. You could just raise it up and somebody will collect that. So, Mark, we're going to just keep going with you. What's the biggest challenge you face as a company launched on the Space Coast, and how do you meet that challenge?
Well, our tagline is Space Access Reimagined, right? So we're trying to develop things for space that perhaps others aren't. But the biggest challenge is, you know, it is a competitive industry, right? And how do we get our name out? As I mentioned, we launched 3 satellites so far, which is a lot for somebody that's homegrown here based on the Space Coast. So just getting our word out, you know, letting people understand what we're doing, sharing about our technology and how we could support them to actually help them get reimagined how they're going to access space as well.
Very good. Tracy?
So for me, my biggest challenge when I launched the business was making connections with larger companies. Most of you guys in this room today have hundreds of employees, big companies, where the people that I work with are the smaller businesses, maybe 10 to 20 employees. And so I wanted to be able to bridge that gap. And the way that I did that was through partnerships, like with the Chambers of Commerce, Brevard Public Schools, and I tried to leverage those partnerships in such a way that the small business owner that worked with me would be able to have access through everything Brevard to make connections and open new territories and pathways to grow their businesses. But it was through partnerships that we established.
I'm a big fan of partnerships. Jay?
So I think for Jaycon, it's a twofold thing. One is just, getting new clients, definitely very challenging from the beginning. You're competing with some incredible companies. How do you differentiate? How do you market properly? How do you network? So it's been very challenging to continue gaining new clients. The way we are doing it is by just delivering quality and wowing our clients and making sure that we're not taking too long to get back to them and things like that. So we're working on our processes internally. We're getting our certification, and we're able to really deliver quality to our clients. And the second problem is obviously, like I think Rob said, talent, right? For a small company to acquire talent, to keep talent is extremely challenging. Thankfully for us, I am a FIT grad. I have a lot of professors that I work with. I get referrals to interns, I get referrals, and often they turn into full-time employees, so I'm a big, I love that
Go
part.
Panthers.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, and just creating a good environment for your employees so they actually want to come to work, they don't want to leave, and, so we do a lot of things like flex schedule, snacks, just being fair to them, and, that's how we keep them.
Very good. LaTasha, for L3 Harris, what challenges?
Yep, I'm going to take your answer. So some of our challenges are talent and keeping the right skill mix that we need. Going back to prior to merging, Harris has a over 50-year legacy in the Space Coast area. We primarily were radios, microelectronics kind of business, and when we merged and became sort of what I call this baby behemoth, we struggled to keep up with the talent that it was going to take to do that, especially in space, because we were known for building, small payloads. They executed a certain mission, we were good to go. A few years ago, we decided to get into more of the prime space, so working directly with the government and actually building the entire space vehicle. And so identifying talent that knows how to do that has been a struggle that we've been working through and really have come out successful. We just launched NTS-3 a couple weeks ago, if you saw it out here at the Cape. We have some other launches that we can't even talk about. It's like protections that we're giving our nation that no one even knows about, and trying to keep the skill mix to be able to be effective in that manner. We have a partnership with Florida Tech, several buildings on your campus, Dr. Nicklow. Six to be exact, got it. Couple of streets, I got it, yep. No, but those partnerships are important, because one thing you discover is, it's one thing to get an education, but then how does that education translate into the workforce? And so having those partnerships to understand what that need is coming into the workforce is what's going to be imperative. I'll also offer, when we talk about talent, we talk about diversity of talent. So having degree talent is one thing. Having blue-collar talent that Mr. Long talked about earlier is also important. Welders, solders, circuit car builders, all of that is important, because the two main facets of what we do, there's a lot of steps in between, but we design and we build. Designing probably comes from more of your degreed type of facets, but building comes from more of the people who are actually on the floor, the technicians, if you will. So being able to maintain that skill set without just following the pendulum, and when I say following the pendulum, it's because we go through phases where we have a lot of technicians and not enough designers or degreed engineers. And then we go through a period where we have a lot of engineers and no one to build. Keeping up with that mix is what we are trying to master, and I think we're getting there for sure.
Very good. So, thinking about L3 Harris, what's next for this baby behemoth? And frankly, how can our community, how can Brevardians benefit from that?
Yep, what's next? If our CEO was here, I'm going to quote him only because he just talked about this yesterday. Having L3 Harris be, let me see if I can get it right, providing space-based technology required to satisfy, to basically protect our nation from advanced threats, while also bolstering U.S. manufacturing and providing investment to the state of Florida. So when you look at what's next, if you've seen, we had 2 big buildings going up on our campus on Palm Bay Road. We did a ribbon cutting for our low Earth orbit satellite integration facility yesterday. I call it, you won't see this anywhere else. This is just LaTasha's quote in Orlando Business Journal. Don't quote me, okay? I know you are. Don't quote me, but I call it like the Power 100, because this is a facility that's almost 100,000 square feet, $100 million investment into this facility that's going to create about 100 jobs with at least $100,000 salary to these employees. So, you know, this is a growth and an investment for L3 Harris. We're also building a big microelectronics business building that's supporting our Intel and cyber community. So we are invested in Florida. You know, our headquarters is here. When we merged, it was a no-brainer that our headquarters would be here in the Space Coast. We have 4 segments. 3 of them are based here in the Space Coast area. So when we talk about what's next for us, it's to continue to grow, continue to protect our nation, continue to provide those advanced technologies that we're talking about, that this building will now be the center of what we do. And particularly in my business, you know, space is the new high ground. That's why, you know, my business is called Space Dominance, and I tell my team, you know, my little tagline is "We dominate space." I came from the aeronautics industry working on fighter jets for a very long time, and it used to be that fighter jets were your high ground. If you could get up there, get stealth, you know, try to, you know, send missiles into enemy territory, you were winning. That is no longer enough. We've got to go higher. I think, Mr. Long, you said it earlier, right? The sky's not the limit anymore. We've got to go higher than that to protect our nation from external threats. Golden Dome, you've heard about it. This new facility is going to help support that. And, you know, the beauty about Golden Dome is what I like to call proactive defense. So it's one thing to just wait for the threat to come to you, but how do you stop it from coming altogether? That's the beauty of Golden Dome, and that's why we're so invested in it. If you heard the president talk about HBTSS, that's one of our vehicles that we offer, hypersonic ballistic tracking sensor, yep, a lot of acronyms. But essentially, it's tracking missiles before they get to us, and that's why it's like the base of what Golden Dome is designed to be. So hopefully what's next for us is that you see that we're investing in the community, you see that we're always looking for partnerships on how to do things differently, how to do things better, so that we can protect our nation from right here in the Space Coast.
Very good. And by the way, after reading your title, General Manager of Space Dominance, I'm changing, Wes, I'm going to change my title. President of Higher Ed Dominance, something, Education Dominance. Okay. We can talk about that later. Jay, what's next for Jaycon, and how can our community benefit?
I'm not sure I'm going to compete with that one.
Yeah, I know.
Just say. But, you know, Jaycon is 14 years old now, and we have started pursuing certifications so that we can win bigger projects, partner with bigger companies, and work on some really interesting things. So hopefully we plan to create some new jobs in that area. I definitely can't quote any numbers right now because I don't have any, but that's the plan. And then secondly, we are internally working on a lot of new innovation in the drone space. So we hope to be bringing that to market at some point in the future. That will also create new jobs, and we will be setting up new facilities in Palm Bay for that effort.
Very good. Tracy?
I definitely can't compete with that. When I think about next steps for everything Brevard, I think about going beyond the Space Coast and educating the people beyond Brevard about what we have going on here and why the Space Coast is the place to come for career opportunities, for a place to live your best life, because we truly have something for everybody here on the Space Coast. We're going to do that by launching a podcast that's coming out in October called Behind the Brand, so we can dive deeper into our storytelling. And then I also want to work on developing partnerships with individuals like L3 Harris to help them tell their stories to the public, to create an inquiry on how do I work for these people. I align with that. That's where I want to be. So that's my next step, is really diving deeper into storytelling, reaching beyond Brevard, and helping the larger companies here on the Space Coast tell their stories.
Fantastic. Mark?
Sure. We are a small business. We're about 110 folks. And for us, we're looking at a lot of different things going forward. And, we do a lot of similar things, if you will, in the technology and the space area that L3Harris is. As a matter of fact, we are a mentor protege with L3Harris, so we are working directly with L3Harris on a number of different projects, and which is good for us. But where are we going specifically? As I mentioned with our satellites, everybody's talking these days about artificial intelligence. They're talking about we need to have artificial intelligence in space, because that is, the space domain itself. And, we've actually have a product called Feather Edge, which is meant on our satellites already, which is artificial intelligence in space. So we've been doing that for well over a year and a half now, which others are just talking about it. So that's something that's, I think, unique to us as well, going back to the other question. But going forward, we're developing our own products. And for us to develop our own products will help us grow in this community. We have a great, talented, innovative workforce, which is good. We're always looking for new folks, as we talked about earlier. But we're actually developing what we call our VPX system. And what is that? It's called Fortis. And what is that system? It's a command and data handling system, which is basically the brains of the satellite. How do you control everything that works in that satellite? And we've looked around in the marketplace, and we haven't found anything that really makes sense that can work for us as the things that we need to grow. So we've actually developed our own system. We call it Fortis, and it's an ability to actually command and control satellites in space, but also it has the ability to do things in air, in land, and underwater. So it's a unique combination of a product. So by us to develop and market and sell these kind of products will help us grow, help us to add more business to the community. I mean, Carol's always loved this community, wants to continue to invest in this community. So, stay tuned as you watch us do some great things going forward.
Fantastic. Mark, you mentioned AI, and this is actually a question from the audience. How do you see AI as a factor in the workforce? In other words, which jobs are at risk or maybe in less demand in the future?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, who's not using AI right now? Who's not going to ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot and rewriting memos and stuff? Nobody's doing that out there, right? Everybody's doing it, and which is good and bad. How is it going to change the workforce? I don't know. I mean, for me, it's just going to help me, I think, communicate a little bit better. Yeah. I haven't seen any real impact on our workforce at this point regarding that. So, I mean, because a lot of technology, a lot of hands-on stuff, people putting things together, assembling, components, and I don't see that really affecting us in the short term at this point.
Okay. LaTasha, same question.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Am I coming? There I go. So, disclaimer: AI scares LaTasha. Okay, now back to L3Harris. So, looking at it from a space perspective and holistically, right? We do space, we do aeronautics, so we do fighter jets, we do engines for all of that. We're always looking at how to do things differently. So when you think about AI, ML, if you've heard of that, machine learning as well, we partner. So I love that you brought up the protege program. So we try to partner with other smaller businesses, I won't say small, just smaller businesses, for the capabilities that we don't have, and AI is one of them. So we started partnering with Anduril Industries, quite literally their name is AI, to try to figure out how do we start integrating that into our mission to our customer. I think, at least for us, in the space part of the world where that can be imperative is the predictive factor. Now, obviously, AI becomes programmable based on the behaviors that you insert into it and based on the humans that are using it. But if we can go to space and try to have some predictive behavior about what the threat is, I think that's where we'll see it become beneficial. Some other companies have already mastered that. We won't try to hire people somewhere and hope that we can figure it out. We want to invest in those companies, like Sidus and Jaycon that have figured that out. And how do we insert that into what we're already integrating and delivering to the customer? So AI is the future, although, again, back to LaTasha, so disconnecting L3Harris for a moment. Back to LaTasha, I'm afraid that, too much ChatGPT is going to give give me dementia at some point, but I believe in it. Now back to L3 Harris. So we're gonna integrate it because it's what we're gonna need, to be a predictive threat. When you think about Golden Dome, that's the idea, right? How do you build a dome? You gotta know what the threat is. How do you know what the threat is? Predictive. How do you get predictive? A little AI goes into that. So, we're trying to integrate with smaller companies to put us ahead on that front.
Good. Jay, is your workforce being affected?
Well, at Jaycon, I think we really embrace AI and we promote it internally in the company. What we have found is that it really accelerates our output. So we don't look at it as a job replacement. We look at it as this is going to make us do more with less. And it means we don't have to hire more people. So yeah, I get that strange connection there, but it's incredible. It's been a game changer for us. We use it all the time, and it solves a lot of problems for us a lot quicker than if we were to just do it on our own. And so I'm really excited to see what that holds. I don't think it's going to replace, obviously, all the manual labor jobs and stuff like that we're doing, but it could have an impact on software development and stuff like that. But really, where it is today, I don't think it's a replacement because it has a lot of problems, and you need people to sift through those problems. So
yeah, sift through the hallucinations.
Yeah.
Tracy?
We have not embraced AI. We are a group of journalists who have built this business 15 years on human connection. And I want to continue that because I think people need it. And they have a desire for it. They are screen timed out. They are wanting and missing that human element. And through our storytelling, I'm sure it could be done, but I'm also afraid of it in the sense that having done everything organically, I feel like down the road there could be a challenge when it comes to Google and all of that. It's going to know that all your stuff is AI. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. So for now, we are staying true to our course of human connection.
It's interesting as an educator at Florida Tech, our students, all of our students are using it, right, one way or another. And yes, we have some faculty that have not yet embraced it. Many have, and many in terms of writing papers will teach how to write a prompt, how to use it to make your assignment better, how to help understand a problem or solve a problem. And I think that's critically important because those students are going to graduate and that's what they're going to use. We do have Copilot and Gemini just for our campus, so our students' information, it's not shared with the world unless they want it to be, I guess. But we're working on a certificate in AI that could be for industry partners as well. But and a few of our students are here, so if you really want to learn about AI and what they're using it for, talk to them. Let me ask this. This question is from the audience. Any plans of expanding beyond the United States, for example, setting up manufacturing plants outside of the U.S. or building strategic partnerships with other companies outside of the U.S.? I'll just open it up. Anybody?
Yes, that's part of what we're doing. We're building here locally, but we're also expanding internationally as well. We do have a couple of already global partnerships at this point. Because that's how we feel that a lot of our technology will be useful in other countries as well. So we've actually partnered with a company in Germany. We've done some MOUs with other companies as well.
So we are international already. If you remember, like one of our core businesses was the little radios that you can probably still see in movies with Harris on it. We already went international because we have to go where the need is. So we have individuals in Australia, Canada, UK, we're already international. Whether we're going to build more facilities internationally, I'm not sure, but we already have employees that are deployed because we also support the military bases around the world, not just even in the U.S.
Yeah, as you saw in the video, we are already doing manufacturing in Palm Bay, in Shenzhen, Vietnam, and India. We've been doing that for a few years. it's very interesting for us because we can see what country's good at what, so it kind of gives us that edge. And obviously, with the current administration, we're really working to like figure out how to do more in the U.S. But having experience in those countries and seeing how things work and traveling and seeing all of that, it helps me at least come back here and accelerate that development here, which is, I think, happening. So
I don't know if you can't talk about it, just say.
Sure.
When I was talking to Derek, your co-founder,
Yeah.
I was amazed at some of the products you make and where they're used across
Yeah.
the world. Can you talk about some of them? I think you know the products I'm talking about.
yeah, I mean, our clients don't want us talking about our products, so I'm not sure I should talk about
Okay.
them. But if you
Fair enough.
if you Google our name and do some Googling, you'll see what we do work on. So
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll just
let's leave it at that.
Some very cool stuff.
I know the feeling.
all
Yeah.
around the world. Anybody else?
I add too that, we're not looking to do manufacturing offshore, but it's amazing now, I guess with the current administration, with some of the tariffs that are going around, that we've had a number of companies come to us and want to set up manufacturing here in the States, which is great. And so we're looking at a lot of those opportunities as well.
Very good.
For us, being a digital marketing company, we have a lot of people from other countries looking at our website for information on the Space Coast, where to stay, where to play, what to do, buying houses, whatever. So growing that for us is an interest to have people look at us as a resource to make their travel plans or move plans.
Very good. A little more specificity from this audience member. Any plans for strategic partnerships with companies in Africa? That was pretty specific. No. Yes? Okay. We'll just leave it at that.
I can
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know.
Probably not a direct answer, but we do have employees from Africa, and often they go home and they have some friends or some family members that are running businesses there, and they do often like come and ask us. And it is an interesting thought. We haven't done it yet. There's no plans, but that does come up from time to time.
Just a reminder, if you have questions, please just write them on the cards at the tables and hold them up.
Yeah, actually, one of the products that we're putting in our satellites is from an African company, South African company.
Very
I
good.
will chime in. So totally unrelated, but just bear with me. So we do have discretionary paid time off. And what I've seen on my team, I have a lot of individuals who do mission trips to Africa and try to bring back cool things that we can maybe implement to help those initiatives out there. And we give them paid time off to do that because it's part of their vacation package, right? So I'm not following specific initiatives, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Like this is LaTasha again, so taking off L3 Harris hat. From what I've seen, there is no limit to the partnerships that we will do if it will help us protect this nation. And even if it'll help other indices protect themselves, depending on who they are, right? You don't want to protect your enemy, that kind of thing. But so back to L3 Harris. We don't have any specific initiatives that I'm aware of, but it is really cool that like we offer paid time off for mission trips for them to come back and bring cool ideas on how we can do things differently.
I like that. And, my view in partnerships, I think Mark Rendell's in the room. We had an event earlier this week with launching a new aeronautics and flight exploration CTE program at Merritt Island High School. Those kind of partnerships, and we've all talked about partnerships, that's where 1 + 1 = 3, right? You really get far more productivity and outcomes and really helps us all. Any other questions? Anything specific that we did? There's one question from my friend, Dr. Rasul. Given the significant capital investment you've made in your companies here, what strategies do you have to attract and retain top talent, and how do you ensure that your workforce is prepared for the constantly evolving demands of your business?
We haven't mastered it. Okay, now, you know, part of what I mentioned earlier, at least from L3 Harris, right, we're partnering with colleges. We do quite a few events also in the community to try to attract different kinds of talent. So as I mentioned that pendulum earlier, we no longer can wait for talent to come to us. Although the job market would have you believe, right, that, you know, the unemployment rate's probably at not a favorable position, right, and we are hiring on that front. But we can't wait for the talent that we need to come to us. We have to go to it. So that's why we partner with Florida Tech, and Florida Tech, by the way, had the majority of our interns this summer. Internships, bringing them in and showing them the skill sets, partnering them with our fellows, our technical SMEs, showing them exactly what, you know, we need from their industry, and then they go back to college and teach their friends, and then they come back as interns. So we're almost having to organically go out into the community and create the talent skill mix that we need, because we can't wait for it to come to us. And by the way, a lot of what we do is not taught in the classroom naturally. It's stuff that you have to almost get hands-on experience with, on-the-job training, if you will. And you have to go out and show them what that training looks like, because it's not in the classroom in a textbook somewhere. This is stuff we're doing now wasn't written yet. You know, this is new. This is new stuff that we're doing. So we got to teach them how to do it. We have to go out in the community and find them and show them how to do it. And that's the approach that we're taking. Our talent acquisition teams no longer just do one big event in, you know, Palm Bay or insert here and hope students come. They go to the college. They go into the classroom and do sessions. They go to, they call them like blue collar events that they have, where you have like technicians and things like that that actually want to get a new job in a different industry. They go to those type of events to target the talent that we need. So that's the sort of aggressiveness that we've had to put on this to get what we need skill mix wise.
And I'm going to add to that, just because we have been great partners.
Yes.
We also offer a master's in
systems engineering. Yes.
For L3 Harris. It's a cohort model. And so the idea being professional development and continuous learning helps you keep your employees constantly learning and bettering themselves.
Yeah, and what's really cool about that too, I didn't get my master's from Florida Tech, but I went to a college who does something similar. By partnering with the employees and getting them their masters, we're actually in classrooms with students. So we're able to talk to them and teach them what we're doing, and they can see real life scenarios on, you know, what skill sets can they be maturing while they're getting their degree. And not to mention, like he mentioned, the continuous learning. I won't say how long I've been out of school, that'll be our secret, but being in the classroom though with some of these students who have new and innovative ideas, I would argue has grown me different than the degree could even try. So love those partnerships for sure.
Very good. Jay, let me ask you this. How can Brevard County help you attract the workforce that you need?
I think in the 14 years we've been around, it has been very difficult to hire people who have like certain skills, like soldering, machine operating, things like that. So we often have to like train them internally. We'll hire someone with no skill, just a good personality, and just train them. So I think just that more development in that, like, actually I graduated from Florida Tech, and we don't learn soldering in Florida Tech. You have to pick it up on your own. I thought that was weird. Maybe that's a change. Like, cause I'm an engineer. Like, how can I not know how to solder, right? They're like, well, you don't need that. You need to know how to use a computer. I'm like, oh, okay. So I would say more training.
We're changing that. So they're all gonna be able to solder and weld.
I love the hands. I mean, as an engineer, the reason I'm an engineer, you know, and I'm not getting to do that anymore, but we want to be hands-on, and unfortunately, we're not hands-on from the university setting, right? So when I hire someone, when I take an intern, or I bring someone in to train, I'm immediately putting them in a hands-on job. They're soldering, they're cutting stuff, they're 3D printing. So I wish there was more training like that before they came to the workforce. I think that would make people a lot more flexible and being able to engage in the different areas. And you know, I think that would be a big benefit.
Good. I think we're winding down our time here, and I'm not going to get the hook by Nancy. Any final remarks, just as anything that we didn't talk about, something you really want to share with, you've got a captive audience here. What do you want to share? Mark?
Well, first off, please go over to the exhibit hall, I think, and you got to see there's a lot of good tables and a lot of good things set up over there too, but you can also see actually the size of our satellite, our 100 kilogram LizzieSat satellite that's over there. we were talking earlier about trying to find the right talent. We, as well have intern programs, and we had, I think about 16 different interns this past summer working for us. And they actually 3D printed and built a mock-up of our satellite. So it's quite fascinating. So go take a look at that. You can see some of the technology that's happening here on the Space Coast. So we're excited to be here. I mean, Carol's excited to be here. We're going to continue to grow, and we love the county, and we want to continue to invest here.
Tracy?
If you guys are not familiar with everythingbrevard.com, I would encourage you to jump on the site, take a peek, and then share it with your friends and neighbors. And it's just a little gold mine of local information. And the other thing that I would challenge you to do is shop local as much as you can. You have no idea the impact that it makes on the small business owner when you step into their restaurant, or you buy a piece of their art, or you visit their event venue, and using the local resources. And if you are ever in need of an idea, give me a call. I love brainstorming ideas.
Jay?
I think it's just really incredible how many different businesses are in the Space Coast and just the Central Florida area. When I graduated, I had no idea, and just exploring that, coming to events like this, joining different groups, learning from different CEOs and people, it's been an incredible journey for me. And so I would say, like, the Space Coast is really a fun place to, like, start a business and try to grow it. And, and Florida Tech has been amazing, by the way. Thanks.
I did not pay him. LaTasha?
Shameless plug, Florida Tech is amazing. Okay. If I wanted to leave you with any parting words on behalf of L3 Harris, to Brevard County, to Palm Bay, thank you. Thank you for welcoming this company in your community. Thank you as we merged and became probably bigger than you guys had ever seen before. Thank you for welcoming us and keeping us a pillar in this community. We are one of, I think, I don't want to quote it, so don't quote this part, but I'm pretty sure we're like one of the only bigs that's headquartered here in the Space Coast. And we have held steadfast to that. Our counterparts, our competitors, are headquartered what they would like to consider closer to the customer. And we'll deploy people there, but we are staying here. And if you notice, a lot of our military space wings even are looking to move their headquarters here because they know that the Space Coast is the most vibrant place where you can thrive from a space perspective. So thank you for welcoming us into your community.
Very well said. Just want to thank all of you, panelists. Let's one more round of applause, please.